And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest, the greatest, the biggest, the baddest, help me out, man. What are some other words? The interestingest.
When you said latest and greatest, my brain immediately jumped to mashed potatoes.
He's not wrong. Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. I'm Vin, that's Jordan, together with you, watching us live over on Twitch, helping us form Cocaine Voltron. Needs to be a plushie. Just hasn't happened yet. But
I think there is a Voltron plushie somewhere around the house.
Really?
They do exist.
I think I paid less than like 50 cents for it. I have the black lion, like the center lion, but it was like the original, but it was all chewed and mangled up. It was at the consignment shop, and I'm like, that looks so sad. And I was like, I'll do something with it. I've never done anything with it. Plenty to talk about this week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be talking about the Silksong. I've been playing that. Linux release, day one, native. Good times. Jordan's going to tell you about some framework GPUs, some language-based scores, and of course, we got to touch on the Valve Fremont, the frame, whatever that madness is going on. And cartridges are back, my friends. Yeah, you thought you could escape. Nope, you too can turn a PC into a mothering Nintendo Switch.
Just blow on it, man. Just blow on it.
And that did nothing, by the way.
It made me feel better. It made me feel better.
It gave you something to do while you were waiting for that miraculous contact on that bad loading system.
Waiting for it to actually seat properly. Yes,
that Japan never discovered because they built theirs correctly. It was the North American toaster market.
The top loader. Yeah. Yep. Gravity. Crazy how that works.
It was miserable, man. I was talking in the pre-show. I think it showed up yesterday. Might have been today. The fine folks over at Zima. Me and Jill have talked about this company a couple of times. They make X86 single board computers. I got one of these little guys here, this little purple thing. This is just a piece of it, though. They sent me a whole NAS kit, and it's getting about that time. Everybody, it is. For me to put a NAS together. Now, I've never built my own NAS. Jordan, you have built your own NAS.
I have built several NASs.
You got the big NAS energy. I don't. I bought NASs.
I like big NASs, and I cannot lie.
I'm telling you, man. Franken NAS, Zath NAS, pre-made, slow as hell, but you know what? They work. They shove drives in them. Done with it. Didn't worry about it. This is going to be a bit of an experience. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the idea of what we can get up to. Why? Because mainly I want this board because it's got a PCI Express slot hanging off the side of it, and I think we can get up to shenanigans with that. So keep an eye out. Speaking of eyes, man, how's it going?
The eyes have it, man. It's been all right. It's been a bit of an adventure the past couple weeks. We made it out alive though for the most part. Missing some bones. Mostly have the functionality on my face back. Still can't whistle though.
No whistles.
No whistles.
Can we get you a kazoo? Would it be the same? That'd be annoying as hell, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, I'd be the fucking worst. You would. That is a huge mistake, sir.
I was like, I would be a nightmare if I had a kazoo it. Well,
right? I'd just respond. I'd stop talking. I would just respond to people purely.
I only kazoo now.
Yeah, more kazoo based Morse code. Fuck. Yeah, no.
Kazoo noises.
Yeah. So just been trying to keep busy, trying to recover. Saw some movies. Read some books. I did 2 Magic tournaments. I got completely ass stomped on the first one, and in the second one I placed 3rd by tying all of my games except for the last one, which I won. So you can mediocre your way to the top.
There you
go. If you're just mediocre enough.
Speaking of Magic, we got some Doctor Who cards.
I did. I delivered them to my wife already, so they're not here. All I got now are these gutter snipes. They ping your opponent when you cast a spell.
I know the Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean, this guy looks like he could be a Doctor Who character, right? There's like I could see that.
I mean, it is a Doctor Who, like with the background on that. I did see that the Nintendo Switch version of Final Fantasy is going to come with like special Magic the Gathering cards or something like that, or whatever card.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there was the thing a while ago where it's like one of the big MTG YouTube channels, Tolarian Community College, they were doing a giveaway where it's like, if you win, you have your choice between a Final Fantasy Collector's Booster and a PlayStation 5. And everyone took the fucking collector boosters.
This is how you know you're getting old, man. This is how you know you're getting up there, or like you're priorities have changed with because I keep getting this one YouTube ad for like Ridge Wallet, right? You know, everybody knows Ridge Wallet, the like metallic metal wallet,
the RFID proof wallet or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, enter to win. You could get a Lamborghini, whatever the new Lamborghini is, or $100,000. And I'm like, I want $100,000. Like that's
that Lamborghini is going to cost you $100,000
exactly.
in the first week.
Right. Brain immediately goes to that. Things, priorities.
It's that bitch from Archer where he gets like the fancy car. He's got to pay the truck to like drive it around because when you factor in parts and repair, it's actually cheaper.
Yeah. But nothing's as cheap as our sultry. Easy to please horse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cheap date. You don't really have to get it too drunk because it's already sloshed. It's the Steam.
I gotta move those notifications. All right. Move. Hey,
69. Very nice.
I think the delay's off. Yeah, we'll find out in a minute.
It's the sex number. Yeah. So Fremont, the Steam Fremont. Faramir, because it's going to be a disappointment.
Well, Fremont. Why does Fremont just sound vaguely Half-Life 2-ish? Doesn't it?
Mr. Fremont.
Yeah. Okay, that works. There we go. That works. Yep. Fremont. Is it a thing? Is it a console?
No, it's definitely going to be Paidmont. They're not giving that shit away for free.
Well, they kind of gave away Artifact. They took it back.
Eventually. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. We don't know what this is, but this has been, the rumor mill or the past couple of weeks, man, just been going wild with it. We don't know if it's going to be a console, wireless VR device with VR Pro Bar controllers. No idea.
I think it's going to be a new kind of probiotic yogurt.
This all started because over on Geekbench, this thing showed up, man. It is a AMD custom piece of silicon, Van Gogh, and,
1 year.
1 year, man. Telling you, man. 8 cores, 16 threads, no integrated GPU. So this thing's going to hopefully have a discrete GPU built into it. And that's about it. And then like more data mining and stuff like that. About like
we got Lilac and
F7F, Jordan. Damn it. Like that.
Vin Diesel. He's going to be in the AMD card.
No. You see, if you look at that through a mirror, through a fish tank, it probably says the same damn thing.
7 Fast, 7 Furious.
Yeah. 4, 7. There it is, man. That's all we know. We got that somebody in Singapore or wherever, like they were getting ready to ship out some prototypes, like spooled this up on Geekbench just to give it a quick run, and
didn't forgot to have that computer not connected to the internet to bubble up those results.
As all good leaks do, and this thing very well could just like disappear into Valve like the other one that they were going to release. That one guy showed off. It was like, hey, this was going to be a thing too, and I'm like, whoop, never heard about that. And what if we're just all wrong, though? We're just completely off mark, because I started thinking about the Tower of Power when I'm reading about this.
The Sega Classic modular console?
Yeah, the Mega Drive, the 32X stacked on top of that.
We were talking about Plushy Voltron, yeah.
Yeah. And, dude, what if they're working? Because, like, the latest estimates for the Steam Deck 2 are, like, at earliest, like, 2 years away. Earliest. And that's from Andrew Yang, man. He's like, that's out a minute, man. And I completely get that. But what if they are working on some type of hybrid, jazzed up, like maybe also a console, but like more also like super dock for your existing Steam Deck?
And like that was the thing that like I originally had some hopes for when we were still like in the speculation phase of what the Steam Deck actually was. But I think the main thing that's stopping that from happening is there's no like Thunderbolt or any sort of like high speed connector on the Steam Deck. It just has like
Type-C. Too small, my man. Valve's going to release a kit with a Dremel.
Yes,
a soldering iron.
No, it's going to be some hot glue in a dream, baby. Don't worry about it. Here's the spool of tin solder and Billy's first soldering iron. You can figure it out.
It's great. Just sign this piece of paper first before you do anything. All right.
Yeah. There's going to be a rush of refurbished Steam Decks on the market. I mean, but like ultimately, I would actually really like something like that. That you can just kind of like plug your Steam Deck into and like enhance its capabilities.
Can you imagine like doing that and like it had like a discrete GPU in it, man?
Well, like. I remember when Razer had something like that, the laptop with like, it was literally a giant square that you would like plop it on top of, and it had a dedicated power supply and a GPU dock, and like the docking station just did the pass through.
And they're not that crazy these days because there's the port I can't remember the name of it. I got one on the crazy arm board. It's a standardized port now, man. For the GPU stuff. You don't have to have like crazy.
Sure, yeah. But my point being, of course, that like the Steam Deck does not have such a thing.
No. But the Steam Deck Pro will.
The Steam Deck, in 2 to 3 years. Or maybe MSI or whatever is going to come up with them. I don't know. I think probably some sort of VR related thing is more likely. Maybe some kind of combination like computer plus wireless headset that they're just going to like sell you the all-in-one thing.
No, it's still a dock. You just got to dock your face into it with your VR headset. Stick it in.
It's they reveal it and it's just like the fucking barber chair from The Matrix with the big needle on the back.
All right.
And they're just like, well, you're going to also need to get a port installed in the back of your head, but your insurance will cover that, right?
It's a good time, like right now for Valve. Like I could see the next year, maybe 2 years, because nobody's cracked it yet. The closest we've come was the Steam Deck, but Valve being able to put out a console with Proton where it's at, Vulkan's where it's at, because it's kind of boring these days, man. You just click play and the game's going to work. There's no...
I don't know. I guess the one thing that sticks in my mind that it could not be a VR thing is we haven't seen any like early access or like, hey, we're testing this thing out from Valve regarding like the effects and the Waydroid compatibility stuff that they're working on, right?
Yep.
I think that would be, if they were going to release a VR product, I think that would be a core part of it. Sort of like how like Proton and Steam Play is like a core feature of like the Steam Deck, right?
True. But then again, I can also see this project like, again, just disappear, gone away. Even the VR thing, man. We're like, well, they were definitely working on it, but it never came out. But
And like Valve is willing to just like not fall victim to sunk cost. Like if it's not working, let's just be like, whatever. It's we tried. The failure was informative. We know to not try this again until like
before Valve released the original VR system. They were working on an AR system. They were just like, nope. All right, we tried it, didn't work out, and they were cool enough to give Jerry just the freedom to do with everything she developed while she was over there at Valve, which is pretty cool. Would you buy a Steam machine? Well, I mean, it all comes down to price. If I can get a Steam machine for $500 that is going to play all my existing library of games, and it's going to do how much better than your Steam Deck does it have to be performance-wise? Because this, as it stands, looking at the Geekbench, is going to have I think it was, I forget, last gen AMD discrete GPU in it. So way faster than your Steam Deck, but not.
And the other thing too is like, I wonder if something like this is like, if it is more of like a traditional PC, is this thing user serviceable? Like, can you swap out the GPU?
Yeah, man. Here's your soldering iron, and
Well, I mean, the Steam Deck is actually like pretty remarkably repairable for something that Valve put out. Like, so like I wouldn't be surprised. I think maybe you can make the argument that like they have an expectation for this kind of stuff now.
We'd like to see it, and Valve can get away with it because they can subsidize the hardware. Like,
not like last time.
Well, I mean, that is like kind of the hallmark of a gaming console, isn't it? Subsidize the hardware, unless you're Nintendo. Yeah. Nintendo's like, F you, we're going to make money off that anyway.
Nintendo's just like, hey, we got a patent on a bunch of stuff that maybe we shouldn't have gotten patents on, so we're going to start.
Did you see the thing I posted about Sega going after that guy?
No.
Yeah, dude. Like in the UK, Sega, like, all right, this like reseller, right? He deals in like just vintage junk, and some people were cleaning out an office that was apparently occupied by Sega at some point, and they showed up with like boxes, and they had writ of sale and everything. Like, yeah, we cleaned it out. They just left it to be tossed in the bin, and he bought it, had receipts. Sega showed up at his house, a lawyer from Sega, and like took him in cuffs, dude.
Really?
And then the plot thickens. I don't want to spoil it. Just go read it. He's got a blog post about like, they can't produce like an actual warrant. And they're like, well, maybe we just did it because somebody, then you find out like it's all 3DS and Nintendo prototype stuff. And I'm like, I bet Nintendo might've been involved in this because that sounds like something Nintendo would do.
Maybe a little. I expect Nintendo to like straight up send a man in a black suit with like a high-powered sniper rifle and like a Mario mustache.
I don't even think the intimidation goes that far. You just got to have like Mario like waving outside your house one day. I mean,
that's like fucking sharpshooter Luigi outside your fucking office building.
Like, all right, that's enough. All right. Let's talk about an update to review scores based on language. Long time coming on this.
Yeah, so this is kind of neat. Valve is coming out with a change to their review system where they're going to start including review scores based on languages. And so you're going to need about 100 people writing reviews within a given language. The thing that will actually like impact the score, you need at least 10 people. But because they want to make sure that they have an accurate sampling of like reviews from that language, the threshold for creating a language-specific score is about 10 times more. But this is going to hopefully allow people to make more informed decisions regarding stuff like localization. Maybe you live in a region with some like weird content laws, and so the version of the game that you're getting is going to be very different from the one that other people are getting. And like, it doesn't make sense to kind of, you're not really comparing apples and apples at that point. And especially when it comes to different translations, depending on, you know, whether or not they're using like AI, machine translation, if they're using just like cheap like outsourced, crowdsourced translation. This might matter if you are someone who's like a non-native English speaker, or if English isn't your primary language. So this is good. Ben, you brought up a good point about like review bombing, where I guess like I do wonder like how much of that falls outside of like sort of like the US, Europe. Like,
it immediately came to me of like, you know, if Valve Gaben showed up and he was like, all right, well, what's a way to like break up some of this review bombing and still make everybody happy? I'm like, this doesn't get done with it. And no joke, we're going to be talking about Silksong in just a second. And that happened because apparently the Chinese translation for Silksong was trash. And it had been like, got to watch this take effect, man. Like where the actual, you know, US and other language reviews were doing fine. And, you know, it is good. I don't see a downside to it.
No, it's more useful information and context, because I think that's a thing that gets lost in reviews a lot of the time. Is you're seeing a bunch of people side by side with like every review kind of like placed on even standing, but you know, not necessarily the case. Again, for
or you want to see it like in your culture, in your language, and I'm like, well, what are my people around me thinking about? Now, Valve, where did the bar graphs go? I want my bar graphs back because I can't find out how to get them to show up. It used to be it would show you the like overall, like where the reviews were going up, and then it would go
like
down.
A pie chart or something. Or
it was up and down. You could see like, oh, what happened there, man?
Oh yeah, the line graph.
Yeah. I don't know where it's at. I don't know. If you know how to get to it, let me know in the comments, man. Now,
install this new browser plugin that doesn't work on Chrome.
Oh my god, dude! Silksong's out. It came out last week.
You were playing some of it. You did like a 2 change hour stream.
I did a little test for the Interfacing Linux stream. Scott showed up to watch my torture session. I was man.
I had a little bit of it on in the background while I was doing other stuff. Yeah.
I was struggling, man. That was first one. I think it was like 11 p.m. before I even got it, because I said I was going to stream it the day it came out, and then like no joke, it was like 11:15 p.m. Dude, I got in just under the wire, but I got it done. So, the most wish-listed game on Steam in history to date launched to great fanfare and a lot of grumbling. It did. It ran fine despite being full of bugs. Get it out of your system, everybody. Yeah. It didn't have any serious technical issues. They've been working on it 7 years. They got a lot of that, but several people were put off by the absolute goodness presented at the start of this game. Was I put off? No, but it was a lot to take in.
I've seen some different takes on this. How did you take the whole like Hollow Knight wants you to like attack from the 90 degree above? Yeah. This one is like the 45 degree. And I heard like there is actually some stuff in the game where like Hornet's Lance will like point in the direction you're actually going to end up going, but like it's still an adjustment.
It's the level of I'm not going to spoil anything, but the depth of this game, that attack is just one of your ability to build a character around particular fighting styles.
Oh, so there's a couple different versions.
There's a couple of different builds that you can do while you're in game. So you can change that out if you don't like it, which I'm sure most people will, because that's a lot to get used to answer your question. That got me killed. When I was able to get a fighting style that didn't involve that 45 degree angle, I was like, oh, I can go back and do all this stuff that I almost like just rage quit over. But man, oh man, it's pretty fun. I like it. Like I said, I got about 10 hours into it. I don't know how it would have hit everybody if I had not spent probably the last month on and off. That's been my, like, I'm going to pick it up, play for 10, 15-minute game every other day, was Hollow Knight. Just getting those feels back in, getting that muscle memory going back in, and getting good to some extent. If I hadn't done that, I can imagine how it would have hit, because Hollow Knight's basically, there's two main camps. People who like the bosses. They love that boss route. They just really get into that, the Cuphead crowd. Then you got the visual exploration, the Metroidvania of like going to all these different places, unlocking the maps. Because this game, even Hollow Knight was both of those games. This brings a lot more of that boss rush. Basic enemy mobs can just jack you up.
They're really expecting that you have like gone through Hollow Knight in this game,
or have a higher resistance to getting killed often. Because you're going to die in Hollow Knight. This, you're just going to die. You're going to die. And one of the big complaints that I'm going to say there's definite validity to it is the run back.
When they respawn you, it's like a
where your bench is,
away.
Right, where your bonfire is. I made a post yesterday, no spoilers. It was just a picture of Hornet next to an elevator. Live, die, repeat. That is, I've been stuck in that loop 2 days, and it is a slog. And you were not going to face tank anything in this game. Why? Because most of the enemies do 2 hits. How many hearts do you got, Vin? 6.
No, 6.
You got to think about that. So what they've done in the first patch, and this is something I want to go ahead and remind everybody. Y'all ain't playing Hollow Knight that I played when it launched, and the rest of us. That game has had over 20 patches, a lot of those to do with balance. So calm down a little bit. They'll get it worked out, because Team Cherry wants to make an enjoyable game. I don't think they set out to make the 2D FromSoft title that everyone's been craving.
Speaking of, I remember hearing something on another gaming podcast where apparently there's a bit in like Elden Ring, there's a bit of a stratification because they patched the final boss to make it a bit easier. So the people who like beat Elden Ring before that patch came out are like, I got the true ending. I did the true fight of, and I wonder if there's going to be something like that.
Hi, Jordan, would you like to interview somebody who's got those feels right now? Because I do, man. I got them. I got them a little bit, because one of the things they changed the difficulty. They dialed the difficulty back to Morwing, which is just a big ass bird, which, and Sister Fuck Mothering Splinter, which I loathe, man. That was a 20 plus run.
But so you did the original difficulty.
I did the original.
And now you're like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Day after. This was like one of those, like, I got to do this for myself, Jordan, and I did, and I sit there and I grinded on it. And you, like, with any game like that, you eventually get it. It clicks, and when it clicks, I have not, like, did Peace Among Worlds to the monitor in a long time, people. And but that feels good. That does feel good, but it's the time for that torture session. You watch somebody like Brooke.
Dodger,
yeah, Dodger. That's her thing, man. Like, that loop, that game loop of like smacking head against enemy and like getting it figured out. I like about 50% of that. So they dialed that back. So Jordan, I definitely have I was like, so that's what this feels like, huh? All right, I get it. You know what? I'm just not going to ask people. Because
and like you got to imagine like the people who like put the game down. They're like, okay, I'm going to come at this tomorrow. Come at it. They're like, wow, I fucking did it, and they don't realize that the patch. Yeah.
What's a big deal? This is walked around. No, I think it's balanced out because I was able to cheese Morwing, like just on accident, like because I was running away to try to stay alive. And I ended up in a spot where it couldn't hit me, but I could hit it. And I'm like, but it was one of those like, this is going to take 5 minutes, followed by, I'm good with this. I don't want to deal with this asshole.
I mean, that was me with any given boss in fucking Broforce, where it's like, oh, I can hit them. I'm in the cheese spot. Excellent.
You're good at Broforce, though.
Somehow.
I mean,
like, idiot savant, right? Like
you carry our asses and fucking like, you should just like stay near Jordan. Jordan might blow you up, but Jordan's going to get through it, man. Like, we'll get to the next level.
Yeah, but then that one's just like the whole, you don't have to fight everyone.
Yeah.
That was a lesson I learned from you. I was really bad about fighting everyone until I started hanging out with you. Now I'm out of that fucking habit.
Speedrun, baby. Speedrun. You got a killer, buddy. Just jump over him. And that's another problem in Silksong is there's a lot of like, we thought about that.
So there was some testing involved. We're like, you want to cheese this?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, it's just, again, it comes back to getting back to where you got killed to death. Mm-hmm. And like trying to speed up that process. Because like, even if you're not trying to speed run, you're trying to reduce the amount of time to get back to your corpse.
Or even just like, I don't want to get into fights because I need all this health and I need all these resources for the boss fight.
Yes. Yeah. And the F boxes attached to some of those areas, like where I'm at right now, I'm just like, there's no way you just get a slog through it every time. And then you get your one chance. So I understand where the complaints are. There are already mods though on Nexus mods to dial back the difficulty and change everything to one, to still give you a good challenge.
Okay. What about Big Titty Hornet mod? Is that out yet?
It's coming out next week, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you this. That would be a spoiler. Damn.
She was like, that's like really weird when like Hornet goes in for plastic surgery and comes out with like
it would be really funny, but no way to try to explain that to anybody without giving it up those deets, man. So yeah, it's a $20 game. I've seen some like news outlets reporting on developers I've never heard of being upset. Other indie developers saying that it was priced too low.
We heard that shit with like Baldur's Gate 3 too, where like this is ruined games. People are gonna expect too much now. It's like no one's expecting that much.
They tried really hard with Baldur's Gate 3, man. They're like, this is an anomaly. Mm-hmm. This is not gonna happen again. Honk honk. Here comes the Hollow Knight. Happens again. Well, now what?
I mean, these are both games that took like well over 7 years to finish. So
they did.
Quality takes time.
They were done with passion. They were done with people who were interested in them. They were not done under grind conditions and by people who wanted to make the best thing that they could.
Shocking. And
it turned out it was a good game. No DLC. I mean, and it's like, how much DLC did they give away for free with Hollow Knight, man?
Right.
Yeah.
Hell, like with the BG3 thing, they're like, hey, last patch, here are the development tools. Go nuts.
Mm-hmm. What we're trying to say is like, these are good shining examples of it doesn't have to be bad. And everybody can still get paid, man. Because, I mean, Team Cherry's better have some gold-plated bugs.
Drop bears, I don't know. Yeah, they're Australian.
Whatever they got, man. And it will run on, hang on, right before we do that transition. Performance-wise, if you can run Hollow Knight, you'll be able to run this. I mean, it's using Vulkan out of the box. The native version's fine. With a 3060 at 1440p, was it 2560 by 1440? Yeah, that sounds right. 120 all day long, no problem. So you could probably run it on iGPU.
You could probably run it on a brand new, upgradable NVIDIA framework GPU. Oh my God. Yeah, this comes from The Verge. The links to all this stuff in our show notes. Yeah, so Framework, they launched a laptop last year and they're like, hey, this one comes with an upgradable GPU. And the collective reaction was, okay, but what can we upgrade it to?
You got a GPU? No.
And they're like, well, eventually you'll be able to upgrade it to something. Hey, now you can. Now you can upgrade it to what was it? It's one of the NVIDIA 50 something or others.
5070,
5070, yes. That you can slap in the back. Apparently NVIDIA is real excited about this because now they can sell you an overpriced laptop GPU without having to go through MSI or Dell or HP or whatever. But like, honestly, this is dope. We all want stuff like this. Like you see the photo in the video.
Man, that thing's as wide as a Neo Geo cartridge.
Right, it looks just like a laptop battery that you just slap into the back.
Right.
And according to Sean Hollister from The Verge, who went through the process of swapping out the GPU, it takes like 5 minutes to do. It's like actually really trivial. So this is really cool. Framework is continuing to like just shit on Dell and HP. They're like, oh, we can't make a thin, light, repairable, upgradable laptop. It's impossible. Well, it is, and NVIDIA's on board. AMD's on board too with these upgradable GPUs. I do wonder though, are we ever going to see an Intel one or like a Moore's Threads one?
This is where it gets a little more interesting. All right, I'm with you. Like NVIDIA getting on board with it because like NVIDIA had no interest in what was it called, the MXM modules?
Yeah.
Like this has been tried before, over a decade ago, and like I thought it was a brilliant idea then, but this is more, just. But it's like 3 screws or something like it. It took 3 minutes. It might have been like 10 screws. Not a big surgery to do. But what you're saying right there, because this GPU is going to run you like $700, man. That for the framework faithful, the people with laptops and you need that extra grunt, that's good. If you just got a framework, you're like, hey, I want a repairable laptop. That's a very hard sell because you got a $700 GPU that is only going to work with a framework. Laptops. Now, if we could get this adopted by, if a Dell or an HP picked it, well, they never would, but here's what I'm like.
And then there's like the weird form factor thing, because it does look like it's pretty integrated into like the chassis of the framework laptop. So like
it's built reasonably well. It looks like you got a little extended battery hanging off the back of it, but you get a 5070 mobile, whatever the equivalent is, and it's really cool. But it's also cool and useful. If it's not going to be a one-off, if this is not, and I understand where they're coming from, framework, I get it. I'm not giving you a hard time. You got to see what the market is before you just start like spooling these out, man, and just start making multiple versions. You got to make the one and see how that sells, and hopefully you can extrapolate somehow of like, okay, we can justify what Jordan was talking about. Can we get an Intel? 700, no. 400, you give me like an Intel Battle Mage-ish class, because everything's a big jump over the iGPU. iGPUs are great, but
like, and even just from like a workstation perspective, like, hey, I'm traveling, I don't want to bring my big GPU with me because I want to like have better battery life. Pull that off, and you're good to go, right? Like, it's a really cool prospect, and I really hope that it like they're like more GPU AMD makes more GPUs for this, NVIDIA makes more GPUs for this. I genuinely hope it does become a thing because this is like really cool development.
They're doing good. I'd like, keep working on it. I hope it sticks. I hope a lot of people pick them up. They do the pre-orders and they're easy to get in. They have good reliability. I'm going to be interested to see what the battery life is.
Yeah.
Like wound up completely, but framework has yet to really do anything bad.
Yeah. It's at the point now where like, I think if I were going to get like a personal laptop, I would probably get a framework.
Yes. Because they're not that much more.
No, and like again, the notion that like I can repair this, that's like it's peace of mind, right? Yeah.
Well, for me, it's the repair is definitely a big thing. Like the big thing of like I can give you a 10-15% premium. Why? Because I just pop the motherboard out and buy the case, and like I gotta, there's my next old PC that I'm going to be using. Bunch of cool stuff. All right, we had cartridges growing up, children. We did.
Yes.
We might have cartridges incoming. Brace yourselves.
Cartridges.
Cutting live right now to the cartridge cam.
Game Boy Color cartridges, but they're still cartridges.
They're
I got Bionic Commando.
Oh man.
And I got these are the OG Nintendo cartridge holders. And I got The Legend of Zelda Oracle.
With a battery in it too.
With a battery in it. These were Game Boy Color. Well, they had saves on them. And now, these batteries are long dead, so whatever fucking progress I made on
flash memory was it? Yeah. Dude. Was that what were your first cartridges, man? Mine, like my first
Tetris and Super Mario Land.
Okay, for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, for the Game Boy. Like
all right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the NES first, then I got the Game Boy, and I had Tetris and like 2 other games. Games were expensive back then. You didn't.
Yeah, you like and if you got a bad game, you were still playing that fucking game. That was what you had.
To like drag it back to like some of the more difficult platformers. I wonder, like with Hollow Knight Silksong. I was thinking about this. I should have brought it up earlier. My apologies, everybody. Is
drag it back
with the growing up in that era. Like, people like, let's say like 35 plus, where we just like, yeah, we just ground these games out. And like, does something about that make the game special? And like, we're looking for that somewhere, like maybe not even like consciously.
Yeah, sort of like you're trying to reclaim that, like grinding
that ability of like,
yeah.
Maybe there's something in the back here, and again, there's people who are absolutely broken that are like, no, I just love this, and yeah, there's something to it. There's something that I can't put words to, of like, even playing, Silksong, as difficult as it is, even for me coming off Hollow Knight, it's still enjoyable. There's something there. Anyway, cartridges. Are we going to go with Kazeta? Kazeta, because
it's like Czech or Romanian, I think.
Yeah, man. Look at that logo. We need to explore you, Kazeta. Hey, I got
retro. Look at that go.
I can make it wiggle. Watch it wiggle. Ooh. Hey, how much would you pay now? How can we patent distributing games on SD cards? This is probably
Nintendo.
Damn it, they're on to us. No, we do. We probably tried it. They just wouldn't let you. I gave this a download, man. So the whole idea of this is to turn like a mini PC or regular PC, something with an SD card reader, into just a gaming console that you could install games on your SD card, put the SD card in, power it on, boom, you're right in the game. Like, well, all right, cool. No setup, direct to game, maximum performance, distraction. Yeah, again, like you're basically just booting the operating system to play that one game. And you get that classic 90s, also 80s, also 70s, you youngin' experience. And I think the first thing that attracted me to this was that picture on the page. I'm like, I got one of those. That's GeekCom A5. I got the new one. So compatibility, I might as well try it, right?
Sure. Yeah,
might as well. I'm like, well, I mean, we got the same system. And the installer, man, you think the SteamOS installer, if you ever installed SteamOS, you get there, it's like, yo, I'm about to blow away your business. Are you sure? All right, here's a warning. All right, blowing away your business. All right, you're good. This cuts out all that fluff. This is the equivalent of, it just says YOLO, Y, in.
Oh, is this the BIOS firmware update of it starts and then you wait 20 minutes and then maybe your system reboots?
This is like really quick. This is really quick. Like, this is non-interactive. It knows where the NVMe drive is, and I hit yes. It disappeared, and I'm like, okay, I guess I take the thumb drive out and power it up, and I did, and it worked. Okay. But before that, I had to make a Celeste 64 card, because that's like the demo thing that you can download, because the Celeste devs made Celeste 64 open source, and you can get it. Not a problem. Hateful game that. That's another game that's just like F you hard, but my brain likes. And
yeah, it's like, oh, it's just like Celeste, but in 3D. Okay.
Yes. I was like, oh, so that's harder. I'm like, oh yeah. Wait.
Like obscenely harder, yeah.
Got an SD card, and it loaded right in. Didn't have a problem with it. Like, they had here, just drag these. Just drag these files over to it. Mount it ext4. Did that. Put it on. Popped it in. Powered it up. It jumped right into it. Didn't test it out with the controller. Should have. Didn't have time. And you just power it off. You just cut it off. The system cuts off. You cut it back on. The game starts back up. There's not much to it, but I was planning on grabbing some games. This is what got me excited about this. I got a bunch of games on GOG, man, because like DRM free game, got them covered. And I know a bunch of stuff on Steam's DRM free, but the repo that I know where it's at is over on GOG. And I'm like, I got 100+ games. I'll be able to try a bunch of different things. Well, after doing a bit of little RTFMing, that tool's being worked on. There's not a tool to do that. It's a very manual process of setting up YAML files. And it's like, nope. Might have done that if it didn't say we're working on a tool to make the conversion. I'm like, I'll wait on that tool. Then I'll probably cover this on Interfacing Linux. But yeah, for now, if you want to get anything more than Celeste 64, go check out the GitHub. I'm sure people are working on it, like since I've last looked at it, since earlier this week, to get other games up and running on this. Where does this, it's not just nostalgia though, because I saw a pretty interesting comment on one of my social media posts.
Well,
Yeah, I said, this is great for my kids. Let them play PC games. Like, here's your, far as like just the ease of use, and also this is what you're allowed to play.
Well, there's a blog post on the Kazeta website, and the guy was kind of like going over his inspiration for like making this, and I think like the notion of like being able to like physically page through like an inventory of games, like a physical library of games. I don't know. There is something to be said that like when you're scrolling through a list of stuff in Steam, Like it's just like a list of options, right? It's just text. There's not really anything engaging. When you have the things in your hand, you're holding them. You can stick it into something. Maybe it makes picking a game a little bit easier because you have that sort of like tactile feedback. And the one thing for me was like, SD cards have gotten pretty fast these days, but I do wonder about like storage bottlenecking unless they do like some crazy like bcacheFS stuff where like there's a cache partition or whatever in the system, or that the system sets up that like actively caches all the stuff from the card.
Like it installs to NVMe. So
right, yeah. Because like the idea is that sure, you can just pop in the SD card and play the game, but like, you know, for like, I don't know, Warcraft 2 or whatever, that's probably going to be fine. For Cyberpunk, you might need a little bit more IO than your SD card is capable of providing.
Now, if you're curious what Cyberpunk might look like on that mini PC, interfacing Linux, where I tried to play the damn thing, I mean, technically, with all the FSRs on it, got up to 30-ish sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely playable. You can play through the campaign. It's not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but you're playing it on a fucking GeekCom mini PC. What the fuck do you want, right? Like,
right. There you go, man. Cartridges, I say goodbye to them, though. I'm on the absolute opposite end of this. I've kept a couple. Like, I not even ones that I've kept. They're ones that I've found at consignment. I was like, I got like an afterburner for the original Mega Drive.
Sure.
But I miss the instant load. There's something to be said about that satisfaction of like, click, done.
Yeah. And like I don't know. I'm a big like physical, like at least in terms of like books and games and stuff. Mm-hmm. I do like having like the physical objects there. The convenience of like being able to launch a game in Steam is definitely great.
Now I want you to think about this, everybody.
Sometimes when you're just like, I want to play something.
Yeah,
and you just like scroll and you're like, I got options paralysis, right? I can't think of
that's
something.
What you're going to be dealing with, man. Because like me, I'm sure a lot of you in the audience, you've done that. You open Steam, you scroll it down, you close Steam. There's a meme about that, and it's too real. Because you're like, there's so much going on. I have like 200 plus games I've never played on Steam. When you get those cartridges in front of you, that limits your options. Then the get good might kick back in. You're like, I'm going to work on this one a little bit more because those days are gone. You're like, you don't work on games. Typically, maybe you do. I know I don't. I just bounce over to another game. I'm like, I'll just play this one now for a little while. Then maybe I'll come back to that one later. But
and like I guess the other great use case is if you're someone who bounces from game to game, like, you know, if you're not like paying a couple $100 to have like a few terabytes of SSD storage, you're probably going to be like installing and uninstalling games pretty frequently depending on like the size of them. So having them on SD cards and just being able to like swap it out, kind of convenient.
And I like the idea if I can get everything on like a one card, because like then I look at this as an excuse to use my GOG library.
Yeah.
Go check it out, and you can play it with your Xbox controller. Man,
if you can update the firmware.
Jordy give you a difficulty multiplier on this one, man. He's got a story. The Xbox One, I want to get this right. What is it? I can't read that. I'm too old.
Gotta pull the batteries out.
Yeah, man.
Shine a light on it. Get a magnifying glass.
I got the full write-up. Did I put it in my post? Yes, the Model 1708 Xbox One Wireless controller. I've had this for a while, man. I bought this after Hollow Knight came out. I never used it to play Hollow Knight. I played Hollow Knight on the X-Clone controller, which is the like Xbox 360 that fell off the truck. No problem. First time I came back, maybe a month ago, I started playing Hollow Knight again to get warmed up for Silksong. And I never had a problem with this controller. What I typically use this for, I got two controllers. My primary, this is my racing controller. If I'm playing something, racing game, I use this. I like the stick placement. This is my action RPG, third person over the shoulder, play those types of games. That's pretty much it. Haven't played a precision platformer, like a hard one, ever. And I thought this was great. Never had a problem with it. This has always been a little manky, like connecting to Bluetooth, but it would get there. Then I got Hollow Knight fired up, and it was a travesty. Like, it was haunted, it was dropping inputs, like things you would not notice unless you were trying to do 6 things at one time. And you're like, what's going on? Skill issue. Didn't go away. Then I started digging around more and more and more. Come to find out, there's a driver for it. And not the first what I found. First, I thought it was like, oh, here it is. And it's like, everything except your one controller. I'm like, get wrecked. He's like, but by the way, here's one just for your controller. And it's called Xpadneo.
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 Neo. What is the Matrix?
If you want to support, yeah, this is great. I love this. Why would you need this? Well, what I just said to you hits home. And you're like, yeah, that controller's always been a little haunted when I'm using it in wireless. Now, if you get it plugged in, you probably never had any of these problems. But if you use it over Bluetooth, these are just known to have these issues with like dropped inputs, bad latency. And if you're using it in Steam, you get Steam input enabled. You build this kernel module, you install the driver, you can disable Steam input. It'll work just fine. It'll vibrate in new and exciting ways when you plug it in. And I really want this Bluetooth dongle.
Is it a pretzel plugged into it or something?
There's a piece of copper like glued into the top of it to increase the range, I think. Yeah,
I prefer my version.
Yeah, it could be a pretzel. Why not? Because like I thought it was my Bluetooth adapter because I bought it sorted by price lowest whenever I bought a Bluetooth dongle, like I think most people do. And I got everything set up and it worked great. I was still noticing like just some funkiness with the input. And turns out that there's some additional USB settings. They'll be linked to everything in the show notes to get everything up and working. But yeah, it took my run through the White Palace, the Path of Pain, the buzzsaw of Super Meat Boy on just methamphetamine level from being mad at the game. Because this is where I realized it was a problem of like, I know I hit that. You feel that, Jordan? I know I pressed that button, man.
I clicked. I didn't do this. Why are you doing this? Yeah.
What's going on? And after I get everything set up, it went from that to, yep, that's on me. I messed up there. And that's the kind of feedback that you need. So that fixed that. I want to share that with everybody. So if you're on Linux and you got one of these Xbox One wireless controllers, do yourself a favor, get this set up, and it will greatly improve your ultimate gaming precision. I don't know. Hashtag Doritos.
It will make other people think that you are the hacker man when you are in fact that good. Yeah, I spent about 20 minutes on this before I realized that my desktop's Bluetooth receiver was on the unsupported list. Yeah, the Intel AX 2000 or 200 or whatever.
I just think everybody knows I just almost did something incredibly dumb.
What?
I was going to provide a visual aid of my Bluetooth receiver that I'm using right now.
Pull it out. It's like, what could go wrong?
We'll find out.
Yeah, nothing's fair to that right now, right? Yeah. So the one on my motherboard, the Intel AX 2000, not supported. And I spent about 20 minutes on that. I went through they have a very comprehensive troubleshooting guide where like it's incredibly detailed. So props on them for that. Did not help me in the least because I set the LE settings. I set there was one or two other ones. Did you have any
idea about like the issue with not setting the polling rates? And
yes, I did because I'd been fighting with this controller for a while. And when I saw this, I'm like, will this be the one?
This was like when I read this, I was like, motherfucker. Okay, fine.
Yeah. No, so I set those up. There's like one other parameter you got to set in Bluetooth.com. Still not working. I had to like clean up a bunch of shit in my lib modules directory because DKMS was like, you don't have these kernels installed anymore, and that caused the installer script to fuck up. And then, so you just got to that point where it's like, if it's still not working, you may need to upgrade the firmware on the controller. Go find a Windows 10 computer and plug it into that, and then install the Xbox firmware updater. And
sure,
I'm like,
I would just go to the Windows 10 store and buy a Windows 10.
Well, and I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I don't have one of those. Oh, wait, I do. The problem is there is a drugged up teenager in between me and that computer, and I don't want to wake him up. So
yeah, we were talking about like, how does a Bluetooth pair, like, have you ever tried, would you risk a firmware update through a VM?
Oh, see, well, I was thinking about that too. I'm like, okay, but now I need to download a Windows 10 ISO and install it in a VM and set the USB pass-through, and I'm like, that is way too much
I think a Bluetooth dongle is at the sacrificial level of like, I'd try it.
I think it would probably be fine if you're doing the pass-through.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't, especially because it's like, we're in 2025 virtualization. This isn't like 2009 or even 2014 virtualization where shit was just kind of like not working. Things are in a good spot right
Hey
now.
man, I got VMware tools installed.
I'm so sorry.
800 by 600.
At least doesn't lock your mouse into the screen, right?
Yeah. Oh God, dude. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's the game. Would you like to play a game? Shut up, Jigsaw. Get out of full screen.
Yeah. Right control. Right control was by I think VMware was like Control Alt or something. It was dumb.
It was dumb, is what it was. So there was something that you had to go look up sometime. You're like, what was this? Oh,
what was the hotkey for releasing my cursor, please and thank you?
but you've never had any problems with like your PS5 or?
No. The PlayStation 5 controller worked. The PS4 controller worked. All the Sony stuff works reasonably well. Yeah, it's just for some reason Microsoft. I thought they loved Linux. It just works.
And again, I don't think unless you're like planning on getting into a little bit of like sweaty gaming energy, you probably wouldn't even notice this shit. No.
Although, I mean, or maybe you're just like doing precision platforming. Like that is a situation where like fighting games where you would really hit that. Yeah, if you're getting like ghost or dropped inputs, you are not happy.
No, I think you're the exact opposite of not happy. Like, I've watched some of those streams, dude. And I'm like, oh man, yeah, I'd be mad too, homie.
All right, well, this last one, it's the end of an era, but it was a pretty good era, all things considered. Honestly, Alyssa Rosenzweig, you might know her from some of the X.org talks. She's been responsible, along with Hector, for doing a lot of the hardware enablement for the M1 Mac.
One thing led to another. I drew a triangle.
And once you draw a triangle,
there's no coming back down.
Yeah, man. It's like
it's too late.
Everything's just triangles, man. But yeah, no. Alyssa did a lot of really cool work bootstrapping Rust drivers for the M1 Mac. They got conformant OpenGL drivers, conformant Vulkan drivers, things that are performant and can actually run games. So. She's done a lot in a few years, and having basically bootstrapped all of that and made it kick OS X's ass, because the Linux driver is actually way more performance than the Mac driver. Alyssa has decided to call it a day, and she has decided to move on to Intel, because apparently she got hired. Yep. Apparently she got hired to work on the XE driver stack, which honestly bodes quite well for Intel. Like I think you
did good, Intel.
That was a smart move.
I realized that, like, what was it, last week you released a 5-year-old CPU as a new 14 plus, and you're like, we didn't even change the numbers on it, guys. That's the opposite. This is the opposite of that. This is a good hire.
So hopefully, like, the XE drivers are just gonna start kicking ass now, because she's definitely capable of the output.
23.
Yeah. I didn't realize she was a local too. She's like doing this all at the University of Toronto. Like,
all right.
Yeah.
That's now one thing I do worry about, like, a little bit. No, I worry for other people. If you got you went out and actually bought a iBook or whatever they're called, a MacBook for running Linux, because I don't know who's there to take the helm for the GPU development for the new stuff coming on.
And I mean, hopefully the work that she's done has like enabled just like adding new support, like making
hopefully the foundation, the scaffolding, skeletons in place to where it will be an easier onboarding. The bullshit that is reverse engineering,
especially for like Apple stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's a bit sad, but also, like, again, she's moving on to something that, like, the Intel drivers sorely need some love.
Intel,
so
I was like, oh, okay, maybe we'll get fan control.
Oh wow,
for Intel GPUs, that'd be dope.
Maybe we'll get like the NVIDIA control center for fucking Intel GPUs.
Well, they have one, dude. They have the Arc control center for Windows.
I was saying on Linux, but like,
oh no, you know what? It'd be better than the app. What they don't, they got some command line tools that are glitchy that kind of work.
Okay,
yeah. If you buy an Arc card, it's probably a good. Just don't get one that you need to manage thermally. Just get a big chunky one, like the one Jill has, like where you just the internal stuff. You don't have to fight with it. Yeah, interesting. I still want an M1. They're getting there. I said when they get to about like $200, I'd find a used one, like the original one. I'll get one.
Yeah.
They're good.
Would you be you're going for like the mini though, right? Not
Yeah. They're the eBay average is about 280, and they're ticking down, and they're still like crazy overkill. Something I want to play with, but just to play with, right? Yeah. Maybe I should hit up Apple and be like, yo, man.
I know I'm called Interfacing Linux, but could be interfacing Apple.
I'll just put like an X. I'll just redo the graphic and put Apple over it. But there we go. Yeah.
Just like literally slap like a first grade like Apple sticker on it. It's like a picture of an apple.
Right. All right, that's going to do it. We got everything covered. Got it together. Hopefully enjoyed it. Found us informative. If you like the show, go check it out. It's available everywhere podcasts are available. We're on YouTube at Linux Gamecast. You don't even need to put an @ there. All that business is there. Webzone, linuxgamecast.com. Got Patreon/Linux Gamecast, LibrePay, all that fun stuff. And Discord. If you're a patron, you get the pre-show where you get a more detailed adventure and Bluetooth and our theories about can you move a paired Bluetooth device to another. I'm sure somebody's like, of course you can, dumbass.
You just got to wrap it in tinfoil, right? That's you got to stop the radio from escaping.
Man, I found I was looking for tinfoil hats. Okay, I was looking for tinfoil hats for an Interfacing Linux video because I didn't want to make one. I was gonna.
I was gonna say like, you don't have a roll of like Alcan tinfoil laying around.
Man, I do, but I got like the big industrial strength stuff, and that stuff's expensive, dude. I didn't want to like.
Okay,
yeah, just wait because I just needed a little one for a little thing, and on my search, I found somebody had made tinfoil fedoras. I'm like, that looks pretty dope.
Okay,
pretty well. Excellent stuff.
I want a tinfoil sombrero.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you can check all that stuff out. Interfacinglinux.com. Got a great forums over there. People chatting about stuff. And go check it out. If you have any questions, audio, video production, got a YouTube channel. Trying to do it old school, getting some people off of the social medias, off the Reddits, back to having some real conversations about some tech stuff, which is very, very interesting. We have a very long running conversation about people, if audio only worked on Linux. It is a great read almost daily. So that's going to do it. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Because it's probably Monday, isn't it?
Usually.
Maybe. I don't know.
There was a Labor Day recently, and that fucked me up. There was like a Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah,
that thing. Let's go ahead and roll the credits in a minute. But before we do that, you can get in touch with me. I'm just Vin Stone everywhere. Mastodon, X, not Facebook, Blue Sky. Just look for Vin. I don't think there's any other Vins.
I'm Jordan. You can find me on Blue Sky at Froja, bsky.social, or at Mastodon. Mastodon, that's what it's fucking called. At Mastodon at Froja.linuxgamecast.com. Yes.
There we go.
Totally didn't have a stroke, you guys. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm watching, dude. I'm like, all right, how do I get in touch with somebody at your house? That for some credits.
Corn dogs.
For corn dogs? You know what? I like the corn dog batter.
It's I enjoy a good pogo once in a while, but I think there's like the brand of corn dog. We gotta thank our advisors out there, and we gotta thank our executive producers, Bob Ramp, Scott, Atomic, 1234, drummer, The Targos, and our little Nicky fans, Eggy, Basil, Empty, and the rest of these guys, Sea Monsters.
John, Dean, Engel, Dementor, System T, RL, Rider X Machina, Nimai, Veritanuda, Trugai, Mike, and Kaijurai. Plenty of death notes, rocking and rolling like Romero, Martin, Chris, Jill, Steve, and Shoops. And look at all the chairlings there.
Yeah. Yeah, but the corn dog batter. I don't know. There's like a level where like once you eat enough of it, it starts tasting gross. I don't know. Gotta thank Sandy and Shotty for being Libra players.
Dope, but we need to get back on this corn dog batter,
Listen, man. This is bothering me now. I need to talk about the weird aftertaste when you eat too much corn dog batter.
Patreon.com. Tune into the after shows. We're about to discuss corn dog batter adventures. All right. Till next week. Down to 5. See you. Is it just the batter or is it the dogs?
You fry it, the dough gets, the batter gets.
5 dudes.